Hey, what is up, folks? It is Sunday, November 24th in the 2019 year of our Lord. I'm your boy Spark, and it is time for our weekly round of the BladeForums.com 20th anniversary year of giveaways. What's going on? See, Mark Grant Jr. is here in the chat. What's up going on with you, Mark? I'm not sure who else is here live with us right now. Maybe no one. Who knows? Glad to hear that you're good. We'll hopefully we got more people joining us. I'm doing pretty good this week. I've actually got like 11 or 12 hours of sleep last night for once, so I'm having a pretty okay weekend thus far. And just, doing my thing, living medium, as it were, and, going on with life. So, just trying to live the dream here. BladeForums.com 20th anniversary year of giveaways. This is week 47. This week we are going to be giving away the Kizer Lancer 1028A1 in S35VN stainless steel. This is designed by Dirk Pinkerton. Has G10 scales, 7/8 inch blade, G3 something inch handle. Dwight to say, hey, what's going on with you? We're here to live in the dream this weekend. So who knows what's going to happen and where we're going to be at. And we've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about this week. For those of you who are tuning in, Rick Bradford, good to see you. Dwight Doucet, good to see you. We're in the home stretch. This is week 47. So by my terrible math, we have roughly 5 weeks left to go, 6 including this week. So, week 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. So, 5 weeks left to go. And then the year of giveaways will be all done. And I don't know if I'll be doing live streams after this anymore. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We've got a bunch of stuff still left to give away. I've got a Chimera. I've got another Chimera left. I've got a Claudio Sobal Kiradashi. I've got BK4s, BK15s, Kizer Megatherium, a Tenacious left. We've got the Spyderco Bow River, which will be coming up next week. We've got a Native 5, Kizer Sheepdog, Native Chief. And, also week 42 or week 52. I think for the last week, I think I'm going to give out a mega grand prize for the grand prize winner, because I've got quite a bit of stuff left here. And, I think for the final week, we should make it a big prize for people. So we'll see what's going on. Rekosma, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Good to see you. Are you a new person tuning in, or have you tuned into the live stream before? Hey, always happy to see new people. This has been an interesting week per se. Let's see if we can we get. We'll see if we can get stuff situated. There's been some interesting goings on this week. A lot of stuff to discuss, and you can see by my terrible drawing behind me. You see that? That's a YouTube subscribe button on the whiteboard. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like my terrible knife reviews and live stream videos and stuff like that. I'm hoping that this week I will have time to get some videos put together. I wanted to do a BladeForums.com holiday gift guide for stuff that would be, things to buy for Black Friday or for the holidays. And it's really interesting. We've reached out to a bunch of companies, and Some of the companies responded really well. Some people responded or didn't respond at all. And what really was awesome is Cold Steel sent us like 10 knives to be part of the holiday gift guide. So I think I'm just going to do a Cold Steel video by itself with some of the knives that they sent for part of the gift suggestions. They sent us like an RD or an AD10, kudu, just like 10 different knives of a variety of at a variety of price points. Wicked Edge sent us one of their pro sharpeners. Dirk sent us a Ken Onion Work Sharp edition, or Work Sharp Ken Onion edition, as well as a guided knife sharpener. A whole bunch of different stuff came in. So we've got a bunch of neat stuff that I need to get in video format. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do that before Black Friday. It's going to be tight though, because Black Friday is Friday, Thursday is Thanksgiving, and so that leaves me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On top of that, it's just been a hectic couple weeks. Microsoft pushed out a Office update that completely killed a lot of people using Access. We use Access for the order manager system here in the shop, and as a result, our order manager system has been down for a week now, and now they're saying that they're not going to be able to push out an update until they said they were supposed to push out an update last Friday. Now they're saying that they're not going to push out a new update until the 29th, which is, this Friday. And, that's Black Friday. I mean, if our order manager system's down for Black Friday, it's really going to screw us up. So, yeah, it's really a mess. I need to I need to do a rollback, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do that because we use, Office 2013 in the in the shop here, and good luck. They don't make it easy to roll back the software, so I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. But we'll see what's going on there. So, do we have a new viewers for today? Before I break down how things are going, or what happens here on the 20th anniversary year of giveaways. I'm seeing Dwight Doucet, who's a longtime watcher, Chris Doyle, Rek Kozma. Is this your first time here or no? Chris Doyle, Rek Kozma, Dwight Doucet, Mark Grant, Rick Bradford. I don't know who's a new watcher and who's not. But, if there's somebody watching who's a lurker and hasn't tuned in before, let's talk about what we do here. This is the BladeForms.com 20th anniversary year of giveaways live stream. Basically, BladeForms.com's 20th anniversary was back on November 2nd of 2018. That's our official 20th anniversary date. We actually opened our doors to the public for the forums back in September of 1998, but November 2nd is our oh cool. So Chief's S500, it's new. Mike Martino's new. Avery Kaysen's is new. Excellent. 3 newbies, so I can break this down and not feel guilty about boring everybody in tears. BladeForms.com 20th anniversary was November 2nd, 2018. We'd been open for 20 years. I reached out to a bunch of knife manufacturers, from Buzzy, Boker, Buck, Spyderco, SOG. I reached out to Kershaw, reached out to Himalayan Imports. We had knives come in from Kizer, Kailash Blades. We've just had a ton of great response from the industry, and we've been giving away knives one every week for the past this is week 47 here, and this week 47, we're giving away the Kizer Lancer. Next week, week 48, we'll be doing the Spyderco Bow River. After that, we've got a whole bunch of stuff that'll be coming up, but basically we've been giving away a knife a week for this whole year, and when it comes to week 52, we'll be doing that. So how this goes is every week I do a giveaway thread. Up on the screen here, you can see this week's giveaway thread is for the Kizer Dirk Pinkerton Lancer. Next week's giveaway thread is for the Spyderco Bow River. And I do a giveaway thread every week where I post the thread, and you can see here on the Kizer Lancer, there's 17 pages of responses. So we take the people who respond, starting with post number 2, which is the first legitimate post after mine. And then we go to the last page, which is page 17. And the very last page is post number 333. And what we do then is we go to random.org. And random.org generates a random number when I hit the generate button here. And what that does is that completely eliminates any claims of nepotism, rig drawing, etc. You guys can watch live as I push the generate button. You watch as I go immediately to the thread and pick out the post that corresponds to it, and presto changeo, somebody wins a prize. Each week we give away a variety of good stuff. We give away bladeforms.com stickers, give away bladeforms.com patches. We give away bladeforms.com logo t-shirts, like what you can see behind me with the bladeforms.com logo. And then we give away paid subscriptions to extensions for people that have paid subscriptions, or if somebody qualifies as a registered user, we give them a gold membership or higher. And then we go to the live or the grand prize, and then we do a special live stream prize pack. So we try to make this as fair as possible, because we've got 300 or so people entering in the contest, and 52 weeks of prizes. After 26 weeks have passed, then we go back and let the people who've won 26 weeks or more than 26 weeks ago have a second chance at winning a prize, and it works out. If somebody registered before November 2nd, 2018, but they don't have a paid subscription, we ask that they send us a letter to bladeforms.com, 8007 Vinecrest Avenue, Suite number 6, Louisville, Kentucky, 40222, which is where the office is here. And, they send a letter showing their name, their address, what post number they have in the thread, why they deserve to win, etc. Basically, just make a little bit of effort to show that they're a real person, as opposed to somebody that spammed and registered a whole bunch of threads, or registered a whole bunch of profiles to try to get in on the free stuff. And that's worked out. It's worked out really well. So we've been doing it for 47 weeks so far. We got 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 5 weeks left to go after today. And then we'll be done with the year of giveaways. So that'll be very cool. I see Iron Kid is here, so that today's shot, it's ruined. Big Bad Goth is here. Sorry that that you are still tethered to Iron Kid, Big Bad Goth, but there's hope that you'll be able to find a suitable replacement husband soon. And here we are. We got 11 people watching. Let's nothing to it but to do it. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. So let's go ahead and start this off. Oh yeah, I forgot. This week we are going to be doing the live stream prize pack. Is going to have the usual stuff in it. As usual, we've got SE Arrowhead that we're going to be giving one lucky viewer. Be giving away a Cold Steel stickers. I'll probably throw in like a Boker hat, maybe. Got a few extra of these running around that we'll be doing. And then for the grand prize of the live stream giveaway, going to do this little poker here from derrelw. This is a derrelw or DGT Gear Outdoor EDC Survival knife from, I guess, Ian Ralph. I think this is Daryl Ralph's kid. Picked this up a little while ago, and this is going to be going out to somebody as a grand prize for the live stream. SE Arrowhead. Any suggestions what to do with that? Well, you can toss it in your survival pack. You can put it, you can toss it in your EDC bag, bug out bag. whatever you want to do with it. If you guys follow any of the survival or prepper or bushcraft people out there, there's been guys out there making PVC pipe bows where they take PVC pipe and heat it up and bend it and make an improvised bow out of it. That's real cool. But yeah, use it as a fish as a fish spear. Use it for hunting squirrel. Put it on your fingertip and pretend you're like a discount Wolverine. Whatever you're going to do with it. There's always something to figure out. So yeah, there's a ton of cool stuff you can do. You can rig it up to a fire extinguisher and make some kind of weird Home Alone contraption to defend yourself against burglars like Joe Pesci if you're Kevin or Macaulay Culkin. So Home Alone or whatever. Yeah. If you need to shank somebody, melt a toothbrush, insert it into the toothbrush, and just ice pick somebody to death with it. Do whatever you need to do. So yeah, there's a ton. Yeah, the number of things that you could do with these little bad boys is effectively unlimited. Very cool. SE AH1 arrowheads. We've given away 47 of them so far, and I've still got I think 100 of them left to go. So yeah, there's a ton of neat things you can do. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and give away the bladeforums.com sticker. Go to random.org here. As you can see, I've I've put in the random.org. We've got post 2 and post 333. So let's hit generate, and the first winner is post number 119. So let's go to the giveaway thread here, and let's see, go to post page number 4, I think. Okay, not page number 4. Let's try page number 6. All right, page number 6 it is. And scroll down and scroll down. All right, and post number 119 belongs to PSHN60. So PSHN60, who has been a registered member since December 31st, 2008. Damn, dude is a hell of a lurker. He's only got 30 messages total. PSHN60 has won the bladeforums.com sticker. So let's just select that. Let's copy and paste that into the chat. BFC sticker post 119 is the winner. And boom. That's how it works, folks. And it's really just that simple. We pick a random number. We go to the giveaway thread and show that number off, and then we post it in the channel. It's very, 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 very simple. So up next, what we're going to be doing is giving away a bladeforums.com Velcro patch. You can see here the bladeforums.com Velcro patch comes in 5 different colorways, going from top left and in clockwise. We have the Bladeforums blue logo. We have a bladeforums.com gold logo for gold members. OD green and black, stealth gray and black, and then the multicam colorway. For those of you who are curious, the bladeforums.com blue logo and the stealth gray are the 2 most popular colorways for people, then followed by OD green, multicam, and then the gold. For some reason, the gold is just not as popular as all the others. So we're going to do the giveaway now for the bladeforums.com Velcro patch. Velcro patch has hook on the backside. I don't know if you can see that there. The hook will attach to anything roughly furry. Beards, your hair, loop Velcro if you got it on your coat or your man purse or something along those lines. And we'll be doing that. So let's go to random.org. Let's pick the next winner here. Hit generate. Post number 12. Post number 12 wins the patch. So let's go to the giveaway thread. Post number 12 is going to be on page 1. Scroll our way down. All right, post number 12, derrelw, DERRELW. So, BFC Velcro Patch, post 12, derrelw. All right, so good to go. Up next, we'll be doing the bladeforms.com logo t-shirt. As you can see up on the screen here, the logo t-shirt has the bladeforms.com logo in the center back, and then you can see it hanging behind me there. It's got the bladeforms.com logo on the left chest. So they get to see that you're a bladeforms.com supporter, both coming and going. Wear it at conventions, wear it to bed. You know, you'll suitably impress whoever's in bed with you. They'll be like, oh, damn, is that a bladeforms.com shirt? God damn, baby. You might be too dangerous for me to have in the sack. So, yeah, we're giving that away. So let's go to random.org, pick the winner here, post number 165. All right, go to the giveaway thread. Post number 165 is probably going to be on page what? What do you guys think? Page 8? Nope, page 9. All right. 162, 163, 164, 165. All right, so Tscarlett. I think Tscarlett has actually won something in the past. So we will make sure that Tscarlett is a valid person or a valid winner. Hopefully they haven't won anything in the past 26 weeks, but I do remember seeing that name come up as a winner before, so congratulations to Tscarlett on winning the t-shirt. All right, BFC t-shirt, post 165, Tscarlett. So, congrats to them. And then up next is the bladeforms.com gold or higher paid subscription. I think really quick, I'm going to check and see. I don't know about you guys. Are any of you guys tea drinkers? My wife got me into drinking tea instead of coffee all day. So this is I've started. I've got a teapot or electric tea kettle here at the shop, and I brew my own tea because I like sweet tea to begin with. You know, I'm not really a Southern person, but sweet tea is delicious compared to unsweet tea, and you know. Drinking coffee all day gives me a sour stomach, so I've switched over to tea, and I get my sugar fix from that. So I brewed up I like brewing up a huge thing of tea and drinking on that. But the problem with the Yeti tumbler here is that it retains heat for hours, like 12 hours. So if I pour boiling tea into it, you know, it takes, if I don't leave the top off, it takes like an hour or two for it to cool off until it's cool enough for me to drink. So let's go to the let's go to random.org. Let's hit this post number 70 for the membership. Let's go to the giveaway thread. Let's go to page number, that's got to be on page 4. Yep, page 4. And Lex 137. Lex 137 is the winner of the BFC membership. Post 70, Lex 137. So congrats to PSHN60, derrelw, Tscarlett, and Lex 137. They have won the Bladeforms sticker, the bladeforms.com Velcro patch, the bladeforms.com t-shirt, and the bladeforms.com gold membership. So yeah, we are all set on the first half of the broadcast. It's 5:25 p.m. Let's see how many people we've got. 14 people watching. That's not bad. That's not too bad at all. So here is the part in the broadcast where I start going off on various issues regarding the knife industry and the Second Amendment and stuff like that. And then after that is done, after I'm done talking about that for a little bit, then we come back and we'll do the live stream giveaway for the Lancer, and we'll do the live stream giveaway, or we'll do the grand prize giveaway for the Lancer, and then we do the live stream prize pack for whoever does it. So we have got some shit to talk about today. If you have kids, time to send them out of the room, because I'm going to start fucking cussing up a storm. This broadcast is not rated E for everyone. The only thing rated E for everyone is these fucking hands, folks, because there's some shit that's going to be flying today. Let's go to the news. You guys ready to go to the news? Because, there's some shit happening, and we have got stuff to talk about. All right, first and foremost, up on the screen is kniferights.org. Kniferights.org is basically the knife industry's version of the NRA, and they are fighting for our rights. We have got two things going on here that need to be talked about, and folks, buckle the fuck in, because we need to be talking about all kinds of shit. Actually, hang on a second. I need to pull up the right screen here and get this stuff going. So folks, there's some shit going on here that we need to talk about. First and foremost, Second Circuit accepts Knife Rights amicus brief and forces DA Vance to appeal. Knife Rights has taken a case, or has appealed a case regarding New York, the state of New York, and the New York City's wrist flick test for pocket knives, and has declared that. All right, sorry, little bit emotional here, folks, because we've got some stuff going on. All right. So basically, Second Circuit accepts Knife Rights amicus brief, forces DA Vance to appeal. Here's the deal, long and short. New York is fucked. New York City has a broad history of fucking people over, especially when it comes to gun rights and knife rights. New York, since the early 1900s, has not let people carry guns in New York. They basically passed what's known as the Sullivan Laws, which were the most restrictive gun control laws in the country at the time, where you have to have a permit to own. If you had a permit to own, it could only be owned at your residence. You couldn't transport it elsewhere, etc., etc., etc. This was basically racism writ large. They were doing this to, back in the day, Italian people were not considered white by racists. So they wanted to make sure that the people of wrong background, i.e. people who were poor, non-white, so-called criminals or whatever, couldn't have pistols in New York. In addition, they did it so that it was basically covered all fucking weapons. And back in the 50s and 60s, when the federal switchblade ban took effect, New York updated their laws so that it was about knives, too. It used to be, back in the day, you could get switchblade knives in New York City. No longer the case since the 1950s. So, when pocket knives started, or when the tactical knife industry started coming into being, New York updated their laws once again and started considering any kind of knife that you could open up with a wrist flick was considered a switchblade. So you carry a Sebenza, well, guess what? If you could open your knife, with a wrist flick, then, or, if you could open your knife and flick it open, let's see if we could do this again, open it up with a wrist flick, then it was considered a switchblade, and you go to jail. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Your life is fucked. New York City has put thousands and thousands and thousands of people in jail over this stuff. And when Knife Rights decided to take them to court, New York City really quickly decided to change the laws. And they said, well, okay, we're changing the laws, so now this lawsuit against us is moot. And because it's moot, we need to have this lawsuit thrown out. Well, the circuit court recognized that this was a tactic by New York City to avoid a ruling that would show that their law was unconstitutional, and arguments are going forward. So because the appeal was heard, the Knife Rights case is still going over. Knife Rights needs you to make a donation to them to help fight this, because Knife Rights, like it or not, is a very small organization. It's essentially two people, Doug Ritter, Sue Ritter. They are the two main people of Knife Rights, and they are out there fighting. They get some help through various lawyers who are friendly to the cause, but they are not a legal behemoth like ACLU or various other organizations. So if you can, donate money to Knife Rights. If you've got extra money this holiday season, give it directly to them, because as you can see on the screen, tax-deductible contribution. Tax-deductible. You can donate money to Knife Rights, and if you haven't hit your charitable contributions limit, it comes out of your taxes. Win-win, folks. And plus, you get to stick it to New York, which is a good thing, because the former mayor of New York, Mike Bloomberg, has thrown his hat into the ring to become the next Democratic presidential candidate. Yeah, see, folks, here's the thing. We have watched a fucking train wreck of epidemic proportions go on with the Democratic debates. At one time, the Democrats have had, I think, 19 separate candidates for president this time. You've got, right now, the front runners are Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, a couple other people. There's been a bunch of candidates that have fallen off, notably Beto O'Rourke and Eric Swalwell. Thus far, we've seen that the Democrats have all gone hard left when it comes to anti-weapons legislation. They have all come out and they have been all about frickin' gun bans. They have, Beto in particular and Eric Swalwell have said they straight up wanted to confiscate semi-automatic weapons. They wanted a new assault weapons ban. They want to confiscate assault weapons. They're wanting to confiscate all semi-automatic pistols and ban them. And they're wanting to pass red flag laws, which we will be talking about in detail later on in the broadcast, because this is some scary 1984 shit. Well, here's the thing. Bloomberg, has decided to skip the debates, the Democratic debates, and has, in the last week or so, thrown his hat into the ring as a contender for the next presidential candidate. People talk about Donald Trump buying his way into the presidency. Donald Trump only had like 3 or 4 or 5, only Donald Trump only had $5 billion, $7 billion when he ran for president. Bloomberg's net worth is something like $100 billion. Bloomberg owns his own news network, Bloomberg News. Bloomberg is the guy single-handedly bankrolling gun control in the U.S. Think I'm lying? No. He funds Moms Demand Action, Everytown USA, The Trace, the Bloomberg School for Public Health at Johns Hopkins, which is what is generating a majority of the anti-gun studies out there, and hands out grants to anti-gun researchers like David Hemingway, like Arthur Kellerman, Ludwig and Cook, and various other people. Bloomberg is single-handedly financing gun control in the U.S., and he wants to be president. And when he was mayor of New York, his policy was stop and frisk for people walking down the street. And this was a racist policy. People don't realize, New York City had a policy where that was found unconstitutional. The policy was called stop and frisk, where basically you could be walking down the street, beep, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Cops would jump out of the car, throw you up against the wall, and go through your pockets because we see this pocket clip sticking out of your pocket. You're carrying a knife. We can open it with a wrist flick. You're going to jail for having a switchblade. Bloomberg wants that as a national policy. This is some straight up Orwellian shit. And, on top of that, he wants to ban big gulps. Bloomberg is just a fucking nanny. He is the epitome of the nanny state. He wants to ban vaping. He wants to ban big gulps. He wants to ban guns. And when people want to ban all this stuff, there is a reason. If they don't want you able to defend yourself They don't want you to have effective weapons to defend yourself against the government. There's a reason for it. Look at China, and what's going on in Hong Kong. Hong Kong, the people are sitting there with their dicks in their hands, having to use Molotov cocktails and bows and arrows, rigged up with flaming arrows against tanks. That's what's going on in Hong Kong, because they don't own guns. Look at what's going on in Bolivia, same shit. Look at what's going on in Venezuela, same shit. Look at what's going on in France with the Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets had something like 18, 19, 20 weeks of protesting so far. You don't hear about this on the news because the news is scared shitless that this stuff will happen around the world. You've got labor fighting against corporate interests or fighting against the government, and when you don't have guns, you are up shit's creek. And Bloomberg, the guy financing gun control in the U.S., is now throwing his hat in the ring. The guy that outspent, Bloomberg, is straight up buying politicians across the U.S. Washington State, Bloomberg's anti-gun groups targeted specific elections in Washington State, and surprise, as soon as they got majorities in Washington State, the first thing they passed was assault weapons bans, universal background checks, red flag laws. Same thing happened in Oregon. Same thing happened in Las Vegas. And just recently, we saw the same thing happen in Virginia. Bloomberg-funded groups target specific vulnerable politicians to get the House flipped. All it takes is a simple 51 majority in a lot of these, or a simple majority in a lot of these state Senate and state houses, and boom, the gun control laws come out, the red flag laws come out, and you're screwed. So imagine what's going to happen is if he can get enough of these state senates to flip, and they decide all of a sudden that the electoral college needs to go away. When you've got a guy that's worth $100 billion and he's decided he wants to be president, he can single-handedly fund millions of dollars or billions of dollars in free press to promote it. We're having a bad time as a nation. And, it's only going to get worse. So now that he's running for president, you can see up on the screen here, he says that, he's apologizing for the stop and frisk policy of the NYPD. Except he doesn't really mean it, because as soon as stop and frisk was found unconstitutional, they didn't stop stopping and frisking. They went to, stop and pat, or stop and flick. They stopped, just randomly going through people's pockets and going, oh, okay, well, this guy over here, we can see he's got a pocket knife, so we're going to search him. Or, hey, it looked, we thought that he had a gun in his waistband. It's printing, so we're going to search him. And, you can see that what happened here, after stop and frisk was declared unconstitutional, it morphed immediately into stop and flick by his police department. Knife carriers continued to be arrested by the thousands, 85% of whom were minorities, similar to the stop and frisk campaign before it was forced to end. The only difference is that Bloomberg's cops need an excuse to stop someone, such as a knife clipped to a pocket or printing through their clothes, or even just using one as a tool in public. So yeah, you have a knife in your pocket, you're in New York, you're going to jail. And this is what kniferights.com is fighting against. And this is why it's important. This is why we have to fight every battle when it comes to the Second Amendment. Because you think it's not going to happen here. Well, guess what? In England, it's happening right now. Iron Kid, Big Bad Goth, they live over in Ireland. They can tell you right now what's going on with... they can tell you right now what's going on with knife control over in the UK. It's ugly. Since the UK has been doing knife control, by the way, stabbings are up at a year, or at an 11-year high right now. So their knife control, where they're making you show ID to buy a fucking spoon out of a thing, or out of a store, isn't working. They've got knife confiscation bins. Isn't working. Guns are still being seized over there. Their gun ban isn't working. But, it's totally cool. And the best part of it is that, of course, now that they've banned the guns over in England, now that they've banned the knives over in England, What do? They have police coming for you for your social media posts. Over in England, you can get arrested for mean tweets or saying hateful things. There's no freedom of speech over in England. Hell, you have to have a license to have a TV set over in England. And they have a database of who has TV sets, so they know who has television. I mean, this is some Orwellian shit going on, and we don't need that here. And if you give up your means to defend yourself, that's what happens. So, knife rights fighting this stuff is something we have to support. And if if you've hit your charitable limit for giving to knife rights, guess what? You've got an option. Go to smile.amazon.com, and a portion of your Amazon purchases will go to charity that you select, one of which can be knife rights. You could select knife rights. You could select the NRA. You could select various other charities. The important thing is that you fight the battles for the Second Amendment, because if you don't say anything, then what happens is that if you don't say anything, if you don't speak up, then you surrender the battleground to the other side. See, people ask me, Kevin, why do you spend so much time arguing with people about knife rights or arguing with people about gun rights? You're not going to change your mind. I'm not trying to change the minds of the people who are like, oh, if you've got a gun, you got a small penis, all guns need to be banned. If you own a gun, you want kids to be murdered. I'm not, you can't change somebody's mind on that. Those people are impossible to reach. The people I want to reach are the people, right here. The people who are in the chat, the people who are undecided, the people who are open-minded and don't have their mindset on it. I want to give you guys the ammunition so that you can form your own judgments on what's going on and make up your own minds. I can't fight your battles for you. You got to fight your own battles. But, if you just sit there and you don't have your voice be heard, then what happens is that you've got the one side who's vocally anti-gun or anti-knife or whatever, and nobody on the other side making counter-arguments. So you've got the people in the middle. You've got, all right, people on the one side, people on the other side. Let me see if I can get myself better centered in the screen. All right, so let's say this side here is the anti-gun group. This side here is the pro-gun group. If you keep your mouth shut and the pro-gun group or pro-Second Amendment group is not present, then the only people talking are the anti-gun people. And the people in the middle, right here, are only hearing that viewpoint. So what happens is they think, well, nobody's defending the pro-gun side, so that means that the opinion, this has got, or the anti-gun side is much more prevalent, so I'm going to listen to them because I'm not hearing any counter arguments from these guys. So you have to get out there. You have to raise reasonable things. Some people you're not going to reach. You're not, recognize that you're not going to reach everybody. You're not going to convince everybody. But there are people who are biting their tongues and being silent and watching what's going on. And those are the people you are trying to communicate with. Do what you can, because if you don't speak up, your rights are gone. And once your rights are gone, they do not come back ever. Sorry about your luck. But everybody, the British turned over control of Hong Kong, back in 1990, 98? Here they are, 20 or so years later. The Communist Chinese are coming in and they're destroying it. Venezuela implemented socialism back in the early 2000s. It took less than a generation for them to be starving and to have open rioting and murders and, everything else. And, you have to be willing to fight. Because if there's 4 boxes of liberty, folks, and I don't know how better to put it than this argument. You got 4 boxes of liberty. The first box of liberty is the soapbox. You get on your soapbox and you talk. The second box of liberty is the ballot box. You get out there and you vote. The third box of liberty is the jury box, where if somebody is put in jail over a law that's illegal, you get in there, and it is part of your right or part of your duty as a citizen to get in the jury box and to overrule unconstitutional laws. The very last box is the ammo box. The ammo box is the last resort. When there is nothing else left to do, and you've got people being loaded into cattle cars and going to frickin' work camps or extermination camps, if you've got people being slaughtered in the streets like they're being slaughtered in Iran or in Hong Kong or in Venezuela or Bolivia, then you pick up a gun and you fight. And if you do not have a gun, then you are, at a disadvantage. But if it comes to that point and you've exhausted all other options, then that's when revolution is required. And, that's the way it is. So, but the best thing to do, remember the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So let's get back to it and talk about various things going on. Another mass shooting, or an attempted mass shooting this week in Duncan, Oklahoma, where a guy showed up to a Walmart, started blasting people outside the Walmart. From what I understand, this was a domestic violence situation where he killed his wife and her lover and started, I guess, shooting at other people. And not one, but two people were carrying guns in the parking lot, and they ended the shooting. Apparently, one of the guys there, this guy, Aaron Helton, an Army veteran, said he was at the Walmart around 9:45 a.m. when he heard 9 shots. He saw the gunman, weapon in hand. According to Helton, another man walked up, put a pistol to the gunman's head, and told him to stop shooting. And then that's what happened there. So, stay strapped or you're going to get clapped, right? Next up, Virginia. Remember how I told you about how Mike Bloomberg managed to win or fund the anti-gun movement in Virginia, and they took it? Well, guess what? They have already started putting bills forward for the 2020 legislative season. They've got Senate Bill number 16, which is a ban on assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, and threaded barrels and various other stuff. And as expected, there's no grandfather clause. So guess what? If you're in Virginia and you own a Glock 19, you're going to be a felon. You're screwed. If you own an AR-15, you're going to be a felon. You're screwed. And this stuff is supposed to take effect, instantly. Or it's going to take effect like until there's no enumerated time period on this. So it takes effect July 1st. So basically, you got to move out of state, turn in or destroy, otherwise render inoperable any prohibited items. This is a bad thing, folks. And this is what happens if you just surrender and you don't get out there and vote. So, folks, you got to get it. And what's one of the things that he mentions is really interesting. If you've got NFA items registered with the government, they'll use, it's a possibility that they'll use a Form 4 for suppressors and SBR sent into the Virginia State Police for the Chief of Law Enforcement notification requirement, and they'll use that as probable cause for search warrants and go make visits to check for compliance. So there's no exemption in the rules for having registered NFA weapons. Sorry, if you've got that, even though it's registered with the government, you're screwed. So getting an instant felony on having a handgun with a detachable mag. This is the result of losing elections to the anti-gun movement. All right, up next, let's see. Virginia Democrats attack parental authority with a new gun bill. They're already pre-filing bills in preparation of 2020. First time in 26 years, the Democrats are in complete control of the state's levers of government, and they introduced SB 18, a gun control bill that not only imposes universal background checks, but makes it a Class 1 misdemeanor for any person knowingly to authorize a child under 18 to use a firearm except when the person is in supervision of an adult. So, if your kid's got a hunting rifle or a hunting pistol and they take, you've got land, and you're not going out there hunting with them, or you're not taking them, or they're plinking in your backyard, not under your supervision, guess what? Class 1 misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you have to deal with. Guess what? If she uses the gun against a burglar, they want the state to argue that that a girl would be better off not being able to protect herself and to charge the mom and dad with a misdemeanor for self-defense. At the same time, though, regardless of your views on abortion, the same guy that proposed this bill wants there to be no notification if your underage daughter decides to get an abortion and parents have no say in it. It doesn't matter. These people. They don't want you to be able to defend yourself, but they want you to be able to have an abortion without any parental supervision if you're underage. So you can't protect yourself from getting raped, but if you get pregnant from that rape, they want you to be able to have an abortion without any parental involvement. Is that some ass backwards shit or what? Yeah, this is the mindset of the anti-gun movements. So yeah. Also, let's see here. There's also been cases where the Virginia politicians are also doing safe storage requirements. And what people don't realize is that safe storage requirements kill people. In August 23rd, 2000, Jonathan David Bruce was high on drugs. He came inside of a home when parents were away and began attacking the children inside. Armed with only a pitchfork but ass naked, Bruce proceeded to chase the children through the house, stabbing them repeatedly. The oldest of the children, Jessica Carpenter, was babysitting at the time. Having been trained by her father, Jessica knew how to use a firearm. There's just one problem. The household gun was locked up in compliance with California state law. Because of California's lock up your safety law, Jessica had few options. She couldn't call 911 because the intruder had cut the phone lines. She couldn't protect herself because of the safe compliance laws. Her only option was to flee the house and leave her siblings behind. Apparently the police got there in time and they shot him and killed him, but not before 2 of the children had been murdered. Folks, there's been a ton of articles out there about teenagers using AR-15s or using pistols to defend themselves from criminals when parents are home, or when parents are home and the parents are in the other room and the kid has access to firearms. Safe storage laws get people killed. This was the entire argument behind Heller, where if a firearm was locked up, or if a firearm was in the home, and wasn't on your person, it had to be locked up. And they're wanting to do the same thing with kids. So yeah, these people don't care. They're always think of the children. They don't care about the children. They would rather see your children dead than for your children to be alive and defended by a firearm. That's how it is. These people don't care about saving lives. They think it is morally better for you to be dead and murdered than it is for you to have a gun and defend yourself. So yeah, lots of fun. So yeah, on the other side of this, are you guys, anybody in the chat familiar with the boogaloo concept? Yeah, can I see some bees in chat if you know what the boogaloo is? If you are familiar with the bee, or if you're familiar with the boogaloo, basically, there's been a lot of talk about the conflicts between the left wing and the right wing here in the U.S. And some of you guys know what's going on with the Boogaloo, and some of you guys don't. And apparently, I'm seeing some of you guys, I'm seeing some of you people like Big Bad Goth say that you don't know. SWEDC doesn't know. Other people don't know. So I'm going to try to break this down for you. We have seen a conflict between the left wing and the right wing here in the U.S. for going back decades. Every Republican president since, I think, Nixon has been compared to Hitler, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. People called Nixon Hitler, they called Reagan Hitler, they called George W. Bush Hitler, they called Mitt Romney Hitler, they called, and they're, of course, calling Trump Hitler. And some people would say that we're in the middle of a cold civil war right now, and it's going to take, there's going to be a flashpoint, and it will go from cold to hot with active fighting, with a sectarian conflict similar to what's being seen in what was seen in Yugoslavia, Arab Spring, and various other stuff like what's going on in Syria. For the love of God, I do not want to see Americans fighting each other using weapons to fight each other. I would love to see the left and the right come together and settle their differences in an amicable manner. I fear that may not happen, and that we're going to see violence in the U.S. because we've seen violence happen in a variety of things when by certain political groups. I mean, we saw when Freddie Gray was killed, we saw cities go up in flames. When Michael Brown was killed, resisting, after he tried to take a gun from a cop, we saw St. Louis and multiple other cities go up in flames. When Trayvon Martin was killed, we saw rioting. We see Antifa in Berkeley and Chicago and various other places attacking people they perceive as their enemies. And it's only going to be a matter of time before something happens and people start getting killed over it, and that might be a flashpoint. Well, so people have been talking about this for a while, and the common term for this now is the Boogaloo, which is a shortening of Civil War II Electric Boogaloo, because back in the 80s there was a movie Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then ever since then the sequel to various things has always been called Electric Boogaloo. So Civil War II Electric Boogaloo has been shortened to Boogaloo, which has been corrupted to the luau, big igloo, etc., 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 because that's how memes go. Mimetic warfare changes language and terms change and everything like that. So the saying is now that, the Boogaloo's uniform will be Hawaiian shirts, plate carriers, and various other stuff. And they call it the big luau, they call it the big igloo, and there's various things. So last night, there was a situation that happened on with the rise of social media and the ability for people to live stream various events from their phones, we saw the same thing, happen with remember when Philando Castillo was killed and his girlfriend immediately got on Facebook Live and started streaming the situation with the police officers, screaming about how the police officers murdered him. Well, last night, there was a fella on Instagram named Whiskey Warrior 556, and Whiskey Warrior 556 here had posted that basically the cops were at his house and they were serving a red flag warrant on him, taking his guns, and they had surrounded his house and had the SWAT team there. And we're, going to come and possibly kill him. the guy had posted a whole bunch of stuff on Instagram where, let's see if we can do the thing here. This is what the guy looks like. The guy's a U.S. Army veteran, and he was posting on Instagram about what was going on. From what I understand, this may or may not be correct, but apparently the cops had showed up at his work. And served him with a red flag thing, and said that if he didn't comply, they were going to do CPS to take away his kids. They showed up at his house, and his wife let them in because they used the threat of CPS to take away his kids, and they said, if you don't let us in, we're going to call CPS on you. Apparently they took away his guns, and they were searching his house for high-cut magazines or whatever. And they he left work, came home. They surrounded the house with the SWAT team, et cetera, et cetera. And he was broadcasting all this stuff on Instagram, saying, hey, I want a peaceful resolution to this. I don't want to die, but these guys are redcoats. They're coming for my guns. They're coming after me because I allegedly have a 30-round magazine in the state of New York, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, so as a result, social media stuff was going on, and people were posting online that this guy is up in New York. Apparently a guy who he had served with in the Army had a grudge against him, and that guy told the local PD that he had a 30-round magazine in his house, which is a felony in New York. Again, this is why you have to fight gun control, because the mere act of owning a 30-round magazine is a felony in New York. Police came to his house when he wasn't home, threatened his wife and child with CPS if they didn't let them in to conduct a search. They left and came back with a full SWAT team and several armored vehicles surrounding the home when the guy got back from work. He thinks that they're going to kill him because they, because he had a single magazine. He's standing his ground, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, standoff ended, and he got arrested. And the police are saying that, I don't know what's true and what's not, though, because, the police department says that they had been in the area investigating a domestic incident that involved the guy that was arrested, Alexander Booth. The officer believed that he heard a gunshot from inside the residence and requested backup. When the officers arrived, he was observed in the doorway acting in an agitated state before returning inside the apartment and barricading himself. Basically, he was arrested, charged with penal law. He's charged with burglary in second degree, criminal trespass, criminal contempt, aggravated harassment, petty larceny. And at the conclusion of this, no weapons or ammunition feeding devices were found or seized, despite social media posts to the contrary. So, it's really interesting what happened here, because this guy was saying that he was getting red flagged. The cops are saying no guns were found. And that he was charged with a whole bunch of stuff, so nobody knows what's going on. But basically, when this guy was was broadcasting on Instagram about what was going on, flag went up. Stuff was going on 4chan. Dozens of people, apparently like 80 people in the area showed up to a nearby cemetery. Were meeting up and organizing to get eyes on what was happening. To make sure that things couldn't happen. So it's interesting what happened here, and it's worrisome because this is the kind of shit that's going to happen with red flag laws. Some guy that has a grudge against you, if you post that you own guns, or you post that you've got high capacity magazines or whatever on social media, and you're in a state where that stuff is declared illegal, they're going to use that against you, or it's probable cause. One of the people that reports your Facebook posts or reports your Instagram posts or reports, or whatever, or just really doesn't like you, is going to dime you out to the cops, have the SWAT team sent on you. They're going to threaten you with CPS if you got kids, and there you go. So red flag laws are a bad thing. And, oh, no, they're not going to get abused. Yeah, watch. They're going to get abused. There's not a single law out there that doesn't get abused. So, yeah. Let's see what else is going on. So, unintended consequences. Chicago State Representative Tarver blames clerical error for his arrest after a gun is found in his car on the south side. Basically, Curtis Tarver, too, is one of the people that went out of his way to make it harder for people to be able to have a Illinois firearms owner ID card in Illinois, and made it voted to increase the costs for having a concealed carry policy or having a concealed carry license in Illinois. Well, he got arrested because he had an expired FOID card and his CCW was expired. So interesting. This is just goes to show you, the people that are passing the restrictive laws, often are having their own issues. Let's see what else is next. Oh, in England, killer crossbows on sale in the UK. Oh my lord! See, after they've banned the guns, they're not leaving the guns alone. They're going after crossbows. You can't have any kind of deadly weapon. So that's what's going on next in the UK. If you've got a crossbow, they're coming after it. Another interesting thing, the Ohio Supreme Court is going to decide whether gun owners can drink at home. Yeah, it's not bad enough that they're trying to red flag us, for that. They're saying now that if you have a drink at home, then you might be too dangerous to own a gun. And they're using, this is... You guys remember this photo here? Let me see if we can open that image in a new tab. All right, you remember this photo right here about the abolitionists in the U.S. 100 years ago. Karens, for lack of a better word, the same ladies that demand to speak to a manager, decided that liquor was a problem in the U.S. and they got prohibition passed. And what did prohibition do? Prohibition, all it accomplished was that it got organized crime into trafficking of alcohol. It made organized crime powerful and rich. And as a result of it, because organized crime had a commodity that was worth killing each other over, there was incidents like what was known as the Roaring Twenties. The Roaring Twenties got the term from gangsters blazing away at each other with Tommy guns. Anybody in chat ever hear the term Roaring Twenties? Anybody in chat ever see like the HBO mini or HBO series Boardwalk Empire? You ever watch a gangster movie with Cagney or anything along those lines? You ever see The Untouchables with Elliot? With Robert De Niro and Kevin Costner? Or the reason organized crime became powerful was because of prohibition. When you ban a commodity like alcohol, it becomes profitable to traffic it because people want to get fucked up. People want to get drunk. Same thing going on with narcotics. With narcotics, actually, I'll talk about that in a second. So prohibition got passed based off of these Karens here, that you can see up on the screen. Prohibition got passed, and as a result, you had 10 years of the Roaring Twenties. The Roaring Twenties was going on. You had gangsters blazing away with Tommy guns in the streets, killing each other, culminating in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre was a group of gangsters mowing down another group of gangsters with Tommy guns. What was the result of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre? Does anybody know? Anybody know? The end result of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was the National Firearms Act of 1934. The National Firearms Act of 1934 made it so that you had to have a NFA it regulated machine guns, silencers, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and they wanted to get pistols on there, but they couldn't get that passed because pistols were seen as a defensive item. So they passed the NFA Act of 1934, the first federal bid on gun control in the U.S. because of gangland crime that was going on because of prohibition. So, to this day, this is why we have to have Form 4s for, well, let's see if, I'll show you guys what, this is why we have to have Form 4s in the U.S. if you want to own a silencer or a machine gun or a short barrel rifle or a short barrel shotgun or similar other devices. So, unintended consequences. You ban alcohol, you get a rise of organized crime. So what's going on? You're seeing the same people that were the prohibitionists back in the 1920s. The same people are, were demanding action be taken in the 1960s. The 1960s had 1968, the Controlled Substances Act passed, where it set up the DEA schedules. DEA Schedule 1, DEA Schedule 2, DEA Schedule 3, where Schedule 1 had narcotics that had no medicinal use. Before the 1960s, you could go to stores and get cocaine, opium-based stuff, etc. Marijuana wasn't illegal, etc. But because of Karens like these ladies right here, and people thinking that, oh God, the heroin and the marijuana is having, causing our precious daughters to associate with the wrong element. People that don't pass the paper bag test, people with the wrong skin color. Oh God, we can't have our daughters associating with the wrong element, so we need to ban marijuana. We need to ban heroin. We need to ban LSD. We need to ban all these controlled substances. Reefer madness. Thank you, T. Stevens, right here. Reefer madness. All this stuff. 1968, Controlled Substances Act passes. 1968, same group, Gun Control Act of 1968 passes, which, after JFK was killed using using a rifle, surplus rifle that was sent by mail to Lee Harvey Oswald, that's how we got the FFL system put in place. So, Prohibition. Karens did the Prohibition. Then Karens did the Gun Control Act and the Controlled Substances Act. And as a result, after the Controlled Substances Act was passed, and narcotics were criminalized, what did we have? Well, we had the 80s and the 90s with cocaine trafficking in the U.S. turning into crack cocaine epidemic, which caused which is huge murder rates because cocaine and heroin and all that stuff was criminalized. There was a huge profit margin in it. And because there was a huge profit margin in it, you had street gangs turning into trafficking. You had Colombian cartels making billions of dollars off of coke. And that's, fueled the crime epidemic. And we had in 94 the assault weapons ban passed, and the Brady bill passed, the national crime control thing. Even though the murder rates had plateaued in 93 and were on downhill, 94 the assault weapons ban and crime control act was passed, and they went after minorities. They went after people selling crack cocaine as opposed to powdered cocaine, and they went after all that, and crime started to go down. And gun control credits the assault weapons ban for reducing crime, when in reality, there's other factors at play. So now, what are the Karens doing today? The same Karens who passed Prohibition and passed the Gun Control Act and passed the Controlled Substances Act, what are they going after today? They're going after vaping. They're going after, they went after cigarette use in the early 90s. They're going after vaping today, saying that vaping has no fucking use, even though vaping allows people to get themselves off cigarettes, and they're still going after guns. They're going after guns hardcore. So, but part of that is they're using a scattershot technique where they're trying everything in their power to go after gun ownership. And one of the things is deciding whether or not you can drink at home if you own a gun. They're going to hear arguments in February deciding whether a law prohibiting gun owners from carrying firearms while intoxicated should be applied inside a gun owner's home. They don't ever rest. They want you to be disarmed any way they can. Lawyers for a Claremont County man arrested in 2018 after he acknowledged having an unloaded shotgun while drunk say the law is unconstitutional when applied to homeowners. They say a person's sobriety or intoxication level should have nothing to do with possessing a weapon in hearth and home. This is just yet another fucking tactic that the gun control movement wants to use to disarm us. And it's fucked up, and there's nothing we can do except fight it. And you don't want to end up like this. Guys in Hong Kong armed with umbrellas to try to defeat facial recognition technology, wearing masks, using Molotov cocktails and arrows, flaming arrows up against cops armed with AR-15s, up against tanks. You know, these guys, look at these guys here. These guys clustered up here, throwing Molotov cocktails up against armored police vehicles because the Chinese are coming in and taking action and getting ready to take over Hong Kong. And horrific shit is happening with the protesters. The protesters are getting loaded on trains and disappearing. Protesters are getting arrested and then found dead, apparently committing suicide after being arrested. In one case, one protester was found the other day with her pants pulled down to her knees, half naked and dead. You know, this is the scary shit. And the people that want you disarmed in the U.S. want you, have a reason for it. It's because they think that you'll be able to resist what they're doing. So yeah. That's what's happening there. In slightly better news, Stag Arms is leaving Connecticut and going for Wyoming because Connecticut is incredibly hostile to gun companies, and Wyoming is being very hospitable. Basically, we've seen a flurry of companies leave the Northeast. All manner of companies have moved away from doing business or having their, Connecticut used to have Colt, Para Ordnance, if I remember correctly. Remington was in New York. Marlin, Savage, all these companies were all up in the Northeast, and these states have all made themselves incredibly hostile to gun ownership and firearms manufacturing. So the companies are taking their business and leaving. We saw another example of this in Colorado with Magpul, where Colorado decided to pass gun control after Democrats took control. And Magpul's like, look, if you guys are gonna make it so that people can't own the magazines that we manufacture here in Colorado, we're just going to move our facilities to a gun-friendly state. Colorado's like, okay, do what you got to do, and Magpul up and left. So, yeah. What else do we have here? Oh, yeah, remember how I was talking about Mike Bloomberg running for president? Well, yeah, this isn't worrisome at all. Bloomberg News declares that it won't do any investigative reporting on Mike Bloomberg or any of his rivals in the Democratic primary. Yeah. So, yeah, they're saying that they're not going to cover Bloomberg's foundation. They're not going to do any reporting on Mike Bloomberg himself as a presidential candidate. They're not going to do anything. You better believe they're going to investigate Trump. I mean, they're going to cover every half step and whatever. But yeah, Bloomberg is not going to be investigated by or reported on by Bloomberg News. What a shock. Also, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was hospitalized this weekend and just got released. She's been hospitalized an awful lot lately, and if Ruth Bader Ginsburg winds up kicking the bucket before the 2020 presidential thing, then that's going to be incredibly the Democrats have a lot riding on Ruth Bader Ginsburg surviving to the 2020 election or beyond. Because if Ginsburg is replaced by Trump, he'll nominate another conservative justice to the Supreme Court, which will fuck up the balance of the Supreme Court for the Democrats for decades. The Democrats have already said that if for those of you who have watched previous episodes, I covered the New York State Pistol and Rifle Association case versus the New York City and New York State, where that's going to the Supreme Court. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. I found this. So great. Well, give me a second here, folks. I gotta pull up an article here that I gotta find a article where I can pull it up that's not behind a paywall. Basically, the stakes are very high. The Democrats are already worried that the existing balance of the Supreme Court is going to rule against the state of New York when it comes to the NS or the New York State Pistol and Rifle Association versus New York City, where basically. All right, let me set this up. I'm sorry, I'm being very bad about this. I don't know. Some of you may understand what's going on. Some of you may not understand what's going on. Remember how earlier in the broadcast I talked about New York City's Sullivan laws and how New York City requires you to have a permit to even own a pistol? Well, the way New York City's gun laws were that you could own a pistol, but you could only have it in one residence. That was your apartment. If you had multiple apartments within the city or outside the city, you could not take the pistol anywhere from that apartment except to one of 7 gun ranges within the city. Anywhere else it was forbidden. If you were caught with that pistol and you were not going to a gun range or to your apartment, then you would go to jail. And concealed carry permits in New York were very, very restrictive, very, very difficult to get. So New York State Pistol Rifle Association decided to take this case and sued New York City against it in the wake of the Heller and McDonald cases, showing that the Second Amendment is an individual right. They said that because the Second Amendment is an individual right and people have the right to bear arms, it is unconstitutional for New York City to limit where we may carry arms to a single residence or to a range. Saying that we cannot take a pistol out of state or to an alternate range is unconstitutional. They took this to the lower circuits. Lower circuits agreed. It got appealed by New York City. The appeal was defeated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. New York City and New York City saw the writing on the wall and knew that if this this case was appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court agreed to hear the case. And with the conservative balance of the Supreme Court, New York City knew that they were probably going to lose, and lose big time. And if you have a precedent like this, where the Supreme Court rules that people have a right to bear arms outside of their homes, then that throws a lot of restrictive gun control into free fall. I mean, if you can bear arms outside of your home, then places like Boston, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, areas of California, various other left-wing enclaves that are strict on gun control. Baltimore, Maryland, for example, where they are very loath to issue concealed carry permits. All those laws are going to be in jeopardy. So, as a result from this, New York City had the New York State Legislature void the law. They rewrote the law. Oh, hey, no longer a big deal anymore. Now you can take your gun to and from wherever you want to. Not a big deal. You can't take it on the subway, but you can take it to wherever you want to. You can transport it to wherever you want to. Well, they're still pursuing this up to the Supreme Court, and even though the various gun control groups are saying that this is now a mooted case, the case is going to be heard in December. Well, the gun control or anti-gun senators did not like where this was going, and they issued a threat to the Supreme Court saying that if well, let me see. Basically, they said that if this case was found, if they found that this case was, if the Supreme Court ruled in a fashion that did not agree with these senators, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Hirano, Blumenthal, Durbin, Gillibrand, and etc., then what they're going to do is they're going to take action against the Supreme Court. And long and the short of it is that they said that basically they'll pack the Supreme Court with 15 plus judges, with a Democratic supermajority the next time the Democrats have control of the executive branch and the Senate and House, and that this stuff will never go again. I mean, this is the first time I've ever heard of politicians directly threatening the Supreme Court in such a manner. But this is how dangerous this is to the gun control movement. That if it's found that people have a right to bear arms outside of their home, then yeah, it's going to throw a lot of gun control laws in turmoil. So there's a lot riding on Ruth Bader Ginsburg surviving until another Democratic president can get elected, because if she doesn't, then you've got another conservative justice coming on the Supreme Court, and that's not going to do well for a lot of Democratic planks. There's all kinds of stuff that's percolating up through the Supreme Courts. There's lawsuits going on all the time and all kinds of stuff going to expand gun rights and various other issues. So they've got a lot riding on Ginsburg surviving, and her being admitted to the hospital a couple times in the past couple weeks has a lot of people worried. She's already going to be missing opening arguments in some cases that are going to be going on. So who knows what's going to happen. So, so much for checks and balances, like T. Stevens says. So, wow, we are at 6:27. I have blathered on quite a bit today. So we have one last thing to talk about here before we go on. Anybody watching Disney Plus? Anybody watching the new TV series on Disney Plus, The Mandalorian? Yeah, it's awesome. The last 3 Star Wars movies have completely sucked. I don't, or rather, the first Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, Star Wars Return, The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Return of the Jedi were great. Episodes 1 through 3 were not so great. Episodes 7 and 8 kind of sucked badly. And, we're waiting for basically the last Star Wars movie to come out, Rise of Skywalker, which, may be woke as hell and may suck. But on the plus side, Rogue One was awesome. Rogue One was super cool. But has any of you guys been watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus? Because The Mandalorian is fucking dope. And, it's given way to the memes. Weapons are part of my religion. The Mandalorian, if you guys haven't had a chance to watch The Mandalorian, you need to watch it. The guy behind the mask here is Pedro Pascal, the same guy that played Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones. He was one of the guys in the Netflix series Narcos in South America, and now he's the Mandalorian, and this show is so fucking dope. I'm an American. Weapons are part of my religion. So it's been The Mandalorian's been great for memes. Game of Thrones, Pedro Pascal has been basically great in everything he's done, and we'll see what's going on. So yeah, folks, that wraps up the news. We're done with the news for today. So it is time to give away the Kizer Lancer 1028A1 fixed blade knife designed by Dirk Pinkerton. Are you guys ready for the giveaway there? Give me some G's in chat if you're ready for the giveaway. Meanwhile, let's get to random.org and let's get ready to do the giveaway thread. Are you guys ready for this? Let's do the giveaway here. I'm seeing G's in chat, so let's hit the generate button. Post number 136 is the grand prize winner. Maybe. We'll see. Let's go to the giveaway thread and get that figured out. 136 should be on page 8, I believe. Nope, page 7. Let me see here. I should find the Jeopardy thing. All right, post number 136. 136, Stabman. Congrats to Stabman. There we go. Grand prize winner. Post 136, Stabman. Sorry about your luck, Andre Ciara. Hey, man. Sorry, he was post number 35. Maybe next time, Andre. You may win next time. So, yeah, Stabman wins the grand prize, and that means we are left with the live stream prize pack. So, yeah, somebody this week is going to win. We are ready to do the live stream prize pack here. So just to cover the live stream prize pack again, we've got a SEH1 arrowhead. We've got cold steel stickers. I'll probably throw in like a poker hat. And we have this little poker from DGT Knives, which I believe is an offshoot of derrelw. derrelw Knives. It has Ian Ralph's name in here. Ian Ralph, I think he's Daryl's kid. So yeah. If you guys are ready to do the live stream giveaway, let's get our names over to Wheel of Names. So the Wheel of Names here, as you can see, is like Wheel of Fortune. And what I'm going to do is, if you guys want to be entered into the live stream giveaway, I need your post your bladeforums.com username in chat if you want to be entered in the live stream giveaway. So yeah, all right, so let's start getting this stuff copied and pasted. Ryan Beck, Thesian, Andre 21, Taylor Tat, Lars, Evil Ed, Southpaw Draw, Deletarius, Bold One. Oh shit, I was supposed to be playing music. Here, let's play the music. Boop. Former FMF. Landerboy Mate, Nico Knife. Man, we got a ton of people in chat. Get Her Done, Donald Cornell. All right, cool. So you guys have got a minute 30 to get your username in chat. If you haven't, if you want to be eligible for the thing, So yeah, let's get those usernames in chat. Good luck to everybody. You got a minute and 10 seconds. Oh man, I've been talking too much. My throat's getting sore. So yeah, guys, basically, for those of you who are tuning in, I basically rant about Second Amendment issues for like 30, 40 minutes after doing the initial giveaways, and then we do the grand prize and this stuff. So yeah, I appreciate you guys putting up with my bullshit. That's awesome. I like having you guys watch and listen. Hopefully I opened some minds up. Hopefully you guys learned something. And who knows, maybe some people are swayed. All right, so we got 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left for the wheel, or for the wheel of names. Mark Grant, you have to wait 26 weeks from the last time. Oh, hey, you're right. I did miss. I did get Veletarius twice. Thank you for the heads up there. Bold one. There we go. All right, so we got Veletarius in there, and we got Bold one in there now. So everybody's good to go. All right, so music is done. Should I even do a live stream giveaway this time, or do you guys just want me to close this out? What do you guys think? Should I just should I close it down, or should I go on, or should we actually give this away? You guys are welcome to say either. Yeah, so Mark Grant, basically if you won in the last 26 weeks, you're out for 26 weeks. So if you won in week 24, then you have to wait 26 weeks to do it. So week 50 or week 51 would be you. Let's see, close it out and send it to me. Boo, GGG, la-da-da. Let's see here. Should I? Oh, C66AM. Take me out. I won earlier. C66. What is your username here? Okay, Bold one. You won earlier, so you won. Okay, so Bold one comes out. All right, excellent. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people. 13 people coming in this time for that. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I should just enter my name in a whole bunch. Would that be fair to you guys? Should I just do 50 times with my name? Would that be cool with you guys? Should I do my name a whole bunch? I mean, I totally don't have any knives at all in my life. Should I do that? No, of course not. We won't do that. All right, so let's spin the wheel. Round and round and round it goes. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. Donald Cornell! Donald. I think Donald's a first-time watcher. Donald Cornell. Oh no, my pen's not working. Donald. There we go. Congrats to Donald Cornell. Donald, is this your first time in the Is this your first time in chat, Donald? I don't think I've seen your name in here before. So, congrats to Donald Cornell. I'll be contacting you and all the other winners on bladeforums.com shortly. Do not message me with your address and name and stuff like that. I need to message you, because if you message me with it, I lose it, or I lose track of who's messaged me and who hasn't. And I suddenly start getting messages about, hey, I never got my stuff or whatever, and I can't keep track of all that. So, Chris Doyle, live stream prize was a backup knife, SE arrowheads, stickers, and other stuff. So, yeah. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Make sure that you guys go and get entered in on the Spyderco FB46G Bow River. That's going live right now. It's ready to go, so get your entries in there. and get done. And if you haven't already, do me a solid. Like, comment, and subscribe on this video. We've got... Wow, people just bailed right after the live stream prize thing was announced. We've got 16 people watching, only 11 likes on the video. Do a like, do a comment. If you like watching this stuff, subscribe to the videos. I try to make this, fairly entertaining, or not. Who knows? But, yeah. That people just bailed out of here right after the live stream was done. It makes me sad. But yeah, and donate to Knife Rights if you can. If you have the money, remember it's tax deductible. Donate to Knife Rights, donate to NRA, even if you don't like the NRA. Donate, fight the battles, do what you can, because once your rights are gone, they do not come back. So do what you can. This week is Thanksgiving here in the U.S., so hopefully you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, have something to give thanks to. If you don't have somebody to celebrate with, or, whatever, know that in my heart, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys supporting me. I appreciate you guys supporting the forums for the last 20 years. Make sure you get in on the live stream giveaway for the Spyderco Bow River. Next week, for the live stream prize, we're going to be giving away this Ontario EOD knife. Isn't that cool? This is a one-of-a-kind EOD knife that I got from Ontario Knife back in... I think like 2017, 2016 at SHOT Show, they gave this to me. So yeah, somebody is somebody's going to win, this. So make sure you tune in, and you will and you'll have a chance to win it. So yeah, that's cool. Let's see. T. Stevens, we love you, boy. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Spyderco's going for $30 online. Hey, it's free knife. It's better to pay nothing instead of $30, but who knows? Iron Kid, you don't have Thanksgiving. Well, I guess bake a potato in the oven and give thanks for Jameson or something along those lines. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of the live stream. I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend and a great week. And we'll see what's happening. In the meantime, let's do the music out, and you guys have a fantastic day. And give thanks for the knives, give thanks for our industry, give thanks for everything under the sun. Give your kids a hug and a kiss if you got them. Be thankful for your family. Remember, you're not alone out there. Don't do anything stupid. And, we're here for you, and we appreciate you guys being part of the community, and I appreciate you guys being part of the community. You have a great evening, okay? Be safe out there, folks.